Clark herself. I'd hope to share a better update, but I will not be returning to play the season. I spent hours in the gym every day with the singular goal of getting back out there. Disappointed isn't a big enough word to describe how I'm feeling. I want to thank everyone who has had my back through all this uncertainty. This has been incredibly frustrating, but even in the bad, there is good. And the way the fans continue to show up for me and for the Fever brought me so much joy and important perspective. I'm so proud of how this team has only gotten stronger through adversity this year. Now it's time to close out the season and claim our spot in
the WNBA just got hit with a brutal reality check. Life without Caitlin Clark. Ratings are nosediving faster than the league's credibility, and ticket prices are plummeting like the hopes of every franchise not named the Indiana Fever.
So it's official. The most heartbreaking news for Indiana Fever fans that could come of the season, but Caitlin Clark will not be returning to the 2025 WNBA season. She took the liberty of posting it herself because there were many people asking to hear from Caitlin Clark, to hear how she felt about the entire situation, because a lot of people felt like it was the front office that was kind of making all of these.
If you are enjoying, please subscribe. The Queen is officially out for the season, and suddenly every WNBA executive is scrambling for damage control. After months of uncertainty, cryptic injury updates, and no clear timelines, Clark finally dropped the bomb every executive feared. I will not be returning to play this season.
The norm for the WNBA is being largely ignored by the media. Largely ignored by sports media. Not considered a real professional league, to the point where people didn't even know it existed until CC22. That's just a fact. You can't believe how many times I have people come in the chat and say, I didn't even know that there was a professional women's basketball league until Caitlin. Yeah, it's the facts.
The Fever can finally drop the pretense of a comeback. There's no schedule, no timeline, just a gaping void where the league's biggest star once stood. And the panic? It's spreading faster than wildfire through every WNBA boardroom.
The Fever and Clark saying that she tried to get back on the floor. It appears that she just ran out of time, not able to get enough confidence back in her body as the season wraps up and the playoffs are likely about to begin for Indiana. I mean, it's a gut punch that basically encompasses an entire season of them. The Fever have lost so many players to injury, but obviously none bigger than Clark. And there was such a wait for this second season after her magnificent rookie season. And then, you know, the anticipation of her possibly coming back only for
Let's talk numbers. When Caitlin Clark was healthy and dominating the court, the Indiana Fever were pulling in 1.26 million viewers per game. Then came the groin injury on July 15th, and boom. National TV broadcasts plunged to 847,000 viewers. That's a 53% drop, hitting the league like a freight train loaded with harsh reality. But here's the real kicker. That was back when fans still clung to hope she might return. Now that she's officially done for the season, the viewership apocalypse is only getting started.
When she was supposed to return versus the Minnesota Lynx, supposedly, and then the Scott Agneses and all them start talking about she suffered a bone bruise in Phoenix, I told y'all it was a wrap. It was done. It was done. They knew it. And I believe they've known far longer. They have known. They've kept us fans in the dark, and it sucks. It absolutely sucks. Man, I was so looking forward to watching Caitlin Clark play this season. Now we have to wait an entire offseason, and we don't even know what's going to happen. There might be a lockout. There might not even be a 2026 season, guys.
The WNBA without Clark isn't just a basketball league. It's a support group for former athletes trying to figure out why nobody's watching. The league tried to prove it could survive during her injury absence. It failed spectacularly. Games on NBA TV dropped 40% in viewership without Clark. Non-Clark matchups average 549,000 viewers. Sounds decent until you realize that's still 37% less than what Clark alone brings. The gap between Clark games and everyone else is so glaring it's almost comedic. This panic isn't just about one player being out. It's about the entire foundation of the league's marketing strategy crumbling in real time.
This has been a huge disaster as far as public perception for the WNBA. An entirely new group of people started tuning in to this league for one player and one player only. In fact, so many new people tuned into this league, the viewership for the Caitlin Clark games largely surpassed anything else going on in the WNBA. I would argue that the amount of Caitlin Clark fans are at least 3x the amount of WNBA.
Commissioner Kathy Engelbert can call her the most popular athlete in America all she wants, but that title carries a terrifying responsibility. When the success of an entire league depends on one player's health, every injury becomes an existential crisis. The WNBA spent decades trying to build a sustainable product, and then Clark arrived, single-handedly turning the difference between relevance and irrelevance into one person. Now, imagine the WNBA playoff finals without her. The Indiana Fever, currently 8th place at 21-20, are likely fighting just to make the playoffs, without their floor general, their marketing engine, and their ticket-selling superstar. A team once poised for a championship run is now clinging to postseason survival, all because the league's biggest star isn't on the court.
Team, because she knows just how much she means to everybody that buys those tickets. I mean, I would say at least like 90 to maybe not 95, but like 90% of the people in arenas were there to see Caitlin Clark, which of course they became fans of the Fever afterwards. But you know, Caitlin Clark is the draw. And then here's this one where she's actually in her street clothes. And yeah, these are, you know, pretty heartfelt photos, her in the huddle with her teammates. But I gotta say, this was quite a year. I mean, there came a certain point where people, including myself, were just like, what is actually going on? I think that it's time. It was definitely time to tell fans.
The economics of Clark's absence are staggering. Sports economist Ryan Brewer projected her economic impact could reach $1 billion this season. And that's not just basketball revenue. That figure includes merchandising, tourism, TV deals, and everything else that comes with being a cultural phenomenon. Meanwhile, other players are still figuring out how to turn social media metrics into actual financial impact. The gap between Clark and everyone else isn't just about basketball skills, it's about star power, marketability, and the ability to make people care about women's basketball. The petty jealousy running rampant in the league is about to become painfully visible now that the spotlight has dimmed permanently for 2025. The targeting was real. The injuries were inevitable. And now, the consequences are hitting harder than a Carter Williams-level flagrant foul. Clark endured more physical abuse than any other player in the league, and when your entire marketing strategy depends on one person, you better protect that investment. The league didn't, and now they're paying the price in empty seats, plummeting ratings, and canceled broadcasts.
Here, Indiana Fever will be either a first-round exit or may not make the playoffs. I really believe that Mystics game is a trap game. Also, I don't know if they have all the pieces anymore now with Chloe Bibby out for the rest of the season, another random player. But we drafted her. We kind of know her, but still, she wasn't part of the team for the majority of the season. And then Ariel Powers and Odyssey Sims and Shea Petty. Who are these people? You know what I'm saying? The Indiana Fever are no longer the Indiana